It yeah, it happens. It happens sometimes, but it could be much worse than it is, right? The whole situation could be much worse because maybe nobody's interested in doing anything, and that would be a big problem. But
Yeah.
that's not
That is not
that's not
so,
the
but
problem. It's not the worst thing that can happen, and so step by step. So I'm not happy with that, but I can. It's not a problem if you have time to correct it. It's not a problem if you have time to correct it. And so I have time to correct the situation, and hopefully something positive can come out of it. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot, and this is great. I'm learning a lot of things that I don't know. I'm learning a lot of information about a lot of things I don't know, and I'm also learning that I know things that other people don't know. And in business, this is important. This is important because you have to sell a product or a service or an idea or a solution to people, and to do that you need to have something different from everybody else, and so I also see that a lot of the people who have businesses are in difficult situations with their businesses.
Yeah.
Like the businesses are on the businesses are on the edge of success fail. Sometimes the difference between being successful and not successful is a very, very thin line.
I understand. Yeah.
The right people, the right time, the right place, and everything works.
Yes.
With the wrong people, the wrong time, the wrong place, and things don't work. And so I see a lot of people with small businesses that where the future is not 100% certain for their business. It's not sure. They don't know what is going to happen, and this for me is interesting because then there's space to work with people, to try to help people with what they don't know, and with development and growth, and moving forward. And that's the problem, because people are sometimes afraid or scared of the things that are new. There's a word in English, apprehensive. It means a little bit nervous about doing something new.
It's a mistake, no?
Yeah, it is a mistake, but the mistake is at the end. At the beginning is a fear. They have a fear, and the fear stops them progressing.
Yes.
And the interesting question is what is the fear, and why do they have the fear? And I think everybody who works in personal development understands that progress is outside of the box. It's outside of what you know. And the classic example, we all understand in sport that every athlete and every team needs a coach.
Good. coach.
Every athlete and every team needs a coach. And the role of the coach is important in all areas of life.
Yes.
Now, sometimes it's natural. Sometimes your manager is a coach. Sometimes parents are coaches for their children.
Yes.
Sometimes friends help friends. But when you have somebody outside of the circle, there's one advantage. And this one advantage is that you don't have a personal connection or a personal relationship.
Yeah.
And so it means, I like this part, right? It means that it means that I can say what I think, and it's okay. I don't know, because I can say I think this. I'm not going to lose a friend, right? By telling someone or explaining to someone why something is a bad idea, or by exploring new things. So yeah, our friends and our colleagues and our family like us the way we are. They expect us to be ourselves the way we are. But for some people, they want more. They want to be better. They want to develop. And for some people, it's natural. For some people, it's just a positive thing to do for themselves. For some people, they have a vision of the future that they want different. Some people, they want to run away from things and escape the past and create a new future. But for these people, there's space and place to work with them. The problem is that everybody's biggest problem is themselves. My biggest problem is me. John's biggest problem is John. Peter's biggest problem is Peter. And that's difficult for adults who think they know everything. It's difficult to explain to people that well, actually you don't know. Yeah, and that's what being professional means. Being professional means that you say, to be honest, I don't know. And not just be a mouth that opens and closes and says blah, 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 blah. You know, like a good lawyer will always say, show me. They won't say tell me. Right? They'll say show me. Because they understand that what we think is real and what is real can be very different.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. How many times can I not find something? Like, for example, a pen. Oh, I can't find my pen. I looked everywhere, and within 10 seconds, you know, Yanka finds my pen, or my kids find my pen, or whatever I lost, right? So what I think is not possible for other people is very possible. And this is one of the biggest problems that people have with their growth and their personal development, and I see more and more of this at the moment, and as I have more and more contact with people, more and more contact with different businesses in different areas, I see a lot of the similar types of problem. It's not really the problems that we have, no matter where you are in the world, the problems that we have are all very, very similar. I don't have enough time. There's not enough space or place for something. Or I can't find the right people. And so that nexus of time, place, and people is, we don't. There's a very old saying in business: there's no business problems, there's only people problems.
People, yes. We survived this way from our start to today. It was not easy way.
Oh yeah, and it's a great point that you made. We survived up to today, but we are still very young. Because the time maybe is long, but the growth is very small. The growth is very small. Only in the last 300 years have we come together and communicated well, developed technology, evolved to use a scientific method in most areas of life, where before science, and science is not everything, okay, science is only a small part of how the whole universe works. So before the science, there was just religion and superstition. It's black magic. There's a man in the sky. There's a devil in the earth. And everything was hope and belief. And today we still have a lot of those same problems. People in churches who believe a lot of crazy things that we just don't know. We just don't know. All religion is belief. We don't know. All religion is belief. We don't know. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. We don't know. That belief can be really helpful for people, and that's important. But modern belief comes in many different forms and is more complex now. And as we understand complexity and we understand people more, and we understand psychology more, it's interesting because we have a lot of growth in some areas and no growth in other areas, and what was clearly bad now has good marketing. Right. I'm very hyper aware of the contradictions, the opposites that exist. For example, and the dangers as well. For example, ecologists are very close to eco-fascists. Ecologists are very close to eco-fascists. There's a thin line there. There's a thin line between doing what is right for the planet and doing what is right for the planet no matter what, with Machiavellian consequences. This is, on one side we have doing good and being good, and on the other side we have doing the right thing no matter what, not caring how you get the results. And there's a very thin line there where people now believe that the best way to help the planet is to put pressure on other people to change their habits. And how much is too much? It's really close right now. So it's my observation is that we have to be very careful about the information and how we process the information. Because if something is not a clear fact, then it's a belief. And if it's a belief, it could be anything and it's okay. And not everything is okay. Let's take the example, which is the transition from global warming to climate change. So global warming didn't work as a method to change people's habits. And so it became climate change, because the world in some parts was getting hotter and some parts getting colder, and you couldn't have global warming because it was getting colder as well. So now they have climate change. But there are large groups of scientists on both sides with different data and different information who debate with each other, and the result is not clear, the reason is not clear, the method is not clear. Every year, I've lived many years next to the sea. I've lived many years away from the sea. And I grew up here. Here's the fact. I grew up here. I moved away for 25 years. I came back, and guess what? The water level is exactly the same as it was 25 years ago. It's exactly the same. It's not higher. It's not lower. It's exactly the same. No, hasn't moved anywhere. Every day it goes up and down, but in general it's exactly the same. So where's all this global warming that's going to melt the ice, it's going to cause the sea level to rise, which is going to flood? This is an island, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, in 15 years the world will be... Well, Britain shouldn't be here, right? These coastal villages shouldn't be here. Iceland shouldn't exist.
Yes.
Right?
What is true? What is true?
Exactly. Are some parts of the planet getting hotter? Yep. Are some parts of the planet getting colder? Yes. Should we cut down all the rainforest? No. Should we build more nuclear power stations? I don't know. I like the idea of solar power, for example. So I think that we have to be reasonable and careful with understanding a lot of information. And when you don't, here's something, when you don't have facts, you have marketing. Good marketing. When you don't have facts, you need good marketing. And good marketing is essentially propaganda, right? And you use, or people will use anything and everything to sell ideas. Yeah. Religion is the base concept of that, but there's so many ways that it's done, and especially recently, I've seen a lot of organizations getting children involved to promote agendas that children don't understand.
Yes. 60 years old girl.
Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, everyone is different and everyone has specializations, and some people have more information than other people. But from my experience, I would rather get my information from 100 specialist professors who have spent 20 years studying all the data than from someone who hasn't studied anything. Because in this example, the child is the shield, and you have a lot of adults standing behind the child, putting the child up front. And this is not good.
What with it?
Oh yeah, I know, but it's what with it? Stand back and observe, because it's a lesson in how to manipulate large groups of people to do specific things. Get it, and if you look at the last 20 to 30 years, in fact, you go back further. I mean, this is nothing new. This was happening in Germany before World War II, where children were given scripts to read, and the adults were following the children. Now, the future does belong to the children. That's for sure. The future belongs to the children, but the experience belongs to the adults, and experience is important, because most people, going back to the coaching, most people don't know what they don't know. They don't know, especially when we're young and we have one perspective on the world, basically. And it's interesting. It's interesting watching everything happen. Is watching all the little games that are being played. And what's even crazier is that maybe nobody is right. Maybe nobody is right, but we will never know because there's so many games being played that it's impossible. But I'm very aware of the Machiavellian approach that we will do whatever we have to do to get whatever we want is really dangerous way to approach global ideas. And we will see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. And a lot of people are really happy about everything. It's interesting. It's interesting, and because I like things that deal with the mind. It's interesting to see how this plays out. There's a psychological term, cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you present a logical idea to a person, and people, it doesn't compute. People don't understand. Like, do you realize there's another side? That there might be more to the story. Like even if you go back in history, like there's more that is not in the Bible that is in the Bible. Right? There's more that's not there. There's a lot of information that's just not there. Who knows, right? Who knows? But I live next to the sea and look at the level of water. It's been the same for the last 150 years. Right? It hasn't changed at all. So.